What's up? My name is Chanel Amari. Welcome back to another episode of Chanel in the City on iHeartRadio. I'm your girl, Chanel Amari, and we have another special guest here today. One of our fan favorites, one of my favorite housewives in the building is here joining us. She's a yoga teacher. She's beautiful. She's an entrepreneur. She runs her own business, and we are loving her the last two seasons of The Real Housewives of OC. Please help us welcome our dear friend, Jennifer Pedranti. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
You did amazing. And gosh, can you just introduce me everywhere I go? Because now I
Everyone
feel
says
like,
that. I should be the housewife muse or
really,
whatever.
because
The little
I feel like such an amazing person right now.
well, you are an amazing person. I have to tell you, we are loving you. I'm loving you on OC. And I think you're an amazing addition. I think you've been really raw with us the last two seasons and vulnerable and open and a real housewife. And that's really hard to find on reality TV. A lot of times, and that's life, right? Everybody wants to try to put a mask on. And I love how you don't do that. So talk to us about, first of all, you look beautiful. Talk to us about what you're wearing. You always look good on the show.
If you know what happened, I left the gym and then there's always like a snafu with one of the kids. So somebody had to be run. I was gonna like try to get ready for you. I'm like, be decent. Then I threw on a bodysuit and I'm like, if I put on sweats, would she know? But I actually put jeans on. So I can't really tell you what I'm wearing. A bodysuit and a pair of jeans.
I love it though. You're always looking tip top shape on Housewives of OC. Is that something you're conscious of? Like, do you always want to just like, do you think as women we should always take care of ourselves? Because I think a lot of times, whether we go through divorce or breakups, we sometimes lose ourselves, right? And so I think it's important this season that, and we're going to get into the drama, of course, regardless of what the girls have said to you, you make it important that it makes you feel better when you work out, you say, and you look good. So talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah, I remember my very first yoga class. I'm not kidding you when I tell you, I remember the instructor telling us to look in the front mirror and make eye contact with ourselves. And I left that first class on my mat crying, and I didn't know why. And at the time I was married and I went home and I told my ex-husband, I don't know what just happened in there, but I realized there's some woman in here that's been lost, and I think I saw her for a minute. So yeah, whatever your thing is that makes you come back to the woman who you are, like in your soul, working out or taking a walk or getting together and having coffee with a girlfriend or what. I mean, you got to do it. We got to take care of who we are as women.
Yeah, and I respect you so much because you also have a bunch of kids, and there's this stigma in
Mhm.
society with women that we can't do it all, right? But then we see you grow, balancing it all, from marriage to kids to, now you're with Ryan. We're going to get into that, and also the reality show and being a yoga instructor. Tell us how this season is for you compared to last season.
It's hard. This was a hard season because cameras went up the day I was moving out of the house when the kids and I were evicted. We
Right.
started filming. And, I do hear that, like, thank you for, sharing. Well, I was told this was what I was supposed to do. And I don't sit surface with people very well. Like if I
Mhm.
was to sit down with you and we're going to go to coffee, I don't like if you give me just like the blanket answers. I really want to know. And so this year was hard because it was being evicted. It's trying to move five kids into Ryan's house. It's some stuff I go through with Dawson. It's like there were so many things, and then the cameras were up.
Mhm.
But you just got to go with it. I mean, what else are you going to do?
Right. And talk to the audience a little bit about, because now we're into 8 episodes, which I can't even take my eyes off the season. This is probably one of I would say the best seasons out of all of OC.
Thank you.
Talk to us about the drama with the eviction and, with Gina, because I do see your relationships with these women really matter to you, like on a real level. And so talk to us through that and where you stand with her and how did you cope with that? I mean, I got to tell you, I get anxiety. So I was like looking at you, I'm like, you know what? This is how you should be handling life. The way Jennifer does. She's so graceful. She's always you're always rising above. It's hard. It's
I
tough.
do. That is a thing for me. I do try to. I can be very empathetic for people, so much so that sometimes I take a back seat on myself, and
Right.
I'm working on that. You want to know where I'm working on? I'm working on that. Gina's awesome. I didn't see her side. I knew Gina helped me get in the house, and when things started falling apart in that living in that house, I was in constant contact with the homeowner. So
Right.
I was trying to alleviate Gina from my mess. Little did I know it was causing her more of a problem. And so, you know what I love about her? After the big blow up and after all the things, she'll sit down and go, I was too hard on you. I should never have said this. I'll say, Gina, I didn't even see your perspective. I thought like you would have sympathy. I thought you would have been more like, shit, Jen, I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking about your real estate career. She's a woman who will we talked through it. She's amazing.
Yeah, I do because I had a similar situation, so I saw myself in you a lot, but then I saw how you showed the audience, wait a minute, there is two sides here, and I'm as
Mhm,
a friend, I'm gonna see that other side. And
mhm.
I think that's how we should look at people on TV or in general in life. You should always try to see the other side. It's very easy to become selfish with our own needs, right? And like
Yes.
just consumed. But I
Yes.
love the way that you guys really blossomed with that friendship. Like you both understood each other. And now you're in a good place, right? I mean,
Great spot. I just saw Gina the other day. We went back to Lola's.
oh, that's amazing. I
We went
love
back to
it.
the scene of the crime.
And how did that feel? Was it different?
Amazing.
It
No,
was
it was
different.
great.
It was
Gina's
great.
so cool. It was
Yeah.
great.
I love it. Moving forward, we're going to talk about also, this season compared to last season with Ryan. I love you and Ryan together. I just think you guys
Thank
are a
you.
great couple. You could have a spin-off together. But why do you think this season's different with the girls with him than last? Do you think you're standing up for yourself more this season?
What? Well, finally. I mean, gosh, I'm like, these women are seeing the man that I'm with. He's
Right.
taking in me and these kids. You have to understand, my divorce was not final. There was not $1 coming with me and the kids. You guys don't even know. Ryan, if it were not for Ryan, I don't even know I don't even know what it would have been for the kids and I. And he took us, he took the dogs, he took the cats, and he's just made family. And and I think the women started seeing that, and it was like, wow, okay, maybe we missed a component of Playboy Ryan or scandalous Ryan. We're seeing this other side, this man who loves her and loves these kids and is stepping up.
And how is Ryan coping with the divorce or you? And how is that with co-parenting and all that? I can only imagine. I mean, how you guys are all handling it together.
Divorce sucks. I say that all the time. Divorce just sucks. And it sucks for the kids. Ryan and his ex co-parent amazing. And me and my ex do not. So it's frustrating. You want to be honest, it's frustrating for Ryan because I don't have the relationship with my ex where it's like, oh, I'm going to call Will and make sure, he's got the kids. We have the kids most of the time. Wouldn't change that.
Mhm.
But my co-parenting situation feels chaotic because there is no communication. So you never really know what to expect. And I said with the finalization of my divorce, I do hope healing happens for my ex and I do hope we start moving in these positive directions.
Well, you're right. For the women out there that have been, messaging us, they've also looked up to you, how you've been handling this. What is your advice if somebody's going through like a divorce or a breakup and they either want to co-parent or just have peace and they want to heal? That, having resentment is easier than having compassion and trying to get along, right, with everyone. So what are your
Yeah,
tips, I
what
guess?
for the longest time I was so mad because he Will wouldn't communicate with me. And I had this vision, you know that I know his ex-wife. She was a friend and she was our interior designer when Will and I were married. I know her very well. So in
Wow.
my mind, I had a daydream of what my divorce life would look like with my ex and Laura and all of our kids. And I think you have to let expectations go. He has his feelings on our divorce. He has his feelings now around me. And I just have to do my best to now operate with that what I want, what he's going to allow. And it has to come down to the kids. It truly has to come
Right.
down to the kids.
I think it's the bigger picture, right? Instead of
Mhm.
harping on to those resentment feelings. There's one thing on the show you kept saying Will would not talk to you. A lot of times us women go through those experiences towards the end of a relationship. Is there something you want to clarify? Because you didn't get into it too much on the show, but if you want to talk about that now, like when
You
you,
mean when we were married?
yeah, yes, towards the end, or when you were getting a divorce, I think.
Oh yeah, once the marriage was like over and I said, you know what? I'm not doing it like this anymore. It's not for me. It was kind of that I there was a part of that that just died. And there was no more conversating with Will. There was no more. It was just he's very much black and white. And so if that's not going to be in his life, that's done. And he's moving on and he's a great dad. He's focused on the kids but I'm not a part of that anymore at all. So that sucks. You spend
Right.
all those years with someone and that's completely gone. But that's how he wants to handle it. And I can't change that.
Right. And it seems like you're accepting it this season more so and accepting your living situation with Ryan more so and with the
Mhm.
cast. Where do you stand with Tamara? Because we do see how Tamara in the last season wasn't, supportive and she has been your friend for a long time. Take us through that, and how this season's been with her and you.
Um, my friendship with Tamara, I think, was more important for me. I think I placed more value on my friendship with Tamara than she did. And so I got to a good spot with being okay with that. This is who she is within our friendship. I've learned what I'm comfortable with her and what I'm not. And then, part of being my friend is either you don't have to love Ryan, but you don't get to just keep bashing my partner. I'm going to marry this man. This is the home the kids and I live in. And so the beginning of season, Tamara and I are trying, and we have the conversation, Tamara and I, like, are we going to get the guys together? Do we want to try to mend this wholly? And we did. We said yes. And I don't know what happens. The wheels just fall off with her. It just never stays with me. I don't know with Ryan what the problem is. And that I wish somebody would answer that for me. What did Ryan or myself ever do to her?
Did you ever have that direct conversation?
Yeah, I mean, trust me. And she claims that Ryan went on a podcast last year. Hell yeah, he did. After a year of taking crap from her, that whole year. And then I think we tried to say last year's last year. Let's start fresh. And then you just have to watch because patterns sometimes just repeat themselves.
Well, I think it's, I mean, incredibly inspiring how we see how she and Tamara and Emily Simpson in this season, sometimes will snap on you or get really hard on you. And your reaction is most people would cry or be upset. And we've seen you shed tears too. But the compassion you have still and the understanding you have still in that scene with Emily when you do explain to her or she explains to you why she was projecting on you.
You know what it is for me?
Take us through that.
I can see. So this is Emily. This is not Tamara. It is very different for me with Tamara. With Emily, I still see like a soul. I see pain. I see, I'm not her mom. I had actually very opposite upbringing than Emily had. And she wants to be mad at me because I had love and I had support and I had all the things that she did not have. But that's not my fault. And I think if Emily gave me a shot, what an amazing friend I would love to be to Emily, because I feel like she just needs to heal. And instead of healing, she's like lashing, like blaming. And, that's not right. And I feel like she acknowledges that she has growing to do there.
I love that. And where would you say your place is with her now or during the season? Do we have to check it out?
Yeah, check it out. I'm going to say this about Emily. I still feel the same way I feel about Emily. I say it all the time. I look up to her. I love her marriage. I love the mom that she is to those kids. And I feel empowered by Emily. And I think Emily's open to self-work. Like, I think she looks back at some of this and goes, crap, I probably shouldn't have been that hard. And I think Emily wants to grow as a person. So I'm hopeful. I just say that I'm hopeful with Emily.
Well, that's also what I love about this group up for you guys. I think you guys really, as women, talk through really hard conversations and things, and then you're able to move forward. Where in life, sometimes we like hold these grudges or we let our bullies, define us, and we don't know how to be in a room as adults. And you guys know how to like get through the hard stuff, the trials and the tribulations, and then you know how to have fun, you know how to be friends. I mean, how do you do that? Do you feel like it's the closeness or just you being women?
I think, gosh, that's such a great question because I've never had like dynamics like this. This is so new for me. The strong opinions and just what you think you say, and then you move from it. But there's also something very refreshing in that because you always know, and it highlights things that I didn't know about myself. I watch myself sometimes and I'm like, say something, say something. It highlights all the things, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I think because of that, we're kind of like bonded a little bit.
Right. I love that. Right. And I love how in this season too, you're more of the peacemaker or just like the even keel. We see a scene with you about I want to get your opinion on the Heather Dubrow stuff with the paparazzi and also with Shannon Beater and, Alexis Bellini. I mean, that to me, because I went through a situation like that. A lot of us women go through those situations in life, but we don't know how to speak about it out loud. And this is reality TV. So you're all faced to talk about it. Yeah. How does it feel for you to be a friend in the middle since you're friends with all of them and you want the best for all of them? Let's start with the paparazzi stuff. Okay. I'm curious with your opinion.
I say this all the time about paparazzi. I love Katie. And if Katie would have been my girlfriend, I would probably been like, yeah, I wouldn't bring that up. Heather's not going to find that funny. It was tied to the allegations of Terry cheating or something. And so
Right.
I knew Heather wouldn't love that. Now, let's say this. If Heather Dubrow called the paparazzi, who freaking cares? If I were Heather, I'd say, I did. I called. I have that ability. I'm Heather Dubrow and I can pick up the phone and they took pictures and it was amazing. Um, that feels like what we should be fighting about. The petty, did you call the paparazzi? I didn't call the paparazzi. Like that's perfect. The Alexis and Shannon is so hard because I did not know Alexis prior to this. She comes in, she's precious to me. She's so positive about her relationship with John. Now, I knew the relationship Shannon had with John and the pain that I see in Shannon, like you feel so sad. She's going through so much. And so I just decided, I'm like, I love Shannon. When I'm with Shannon, we are not shit talking Alexis. Alexis, I love you. And I just have to like their problems cannot make me choose a side. I
Right.
don't want to do that. It's not fair.
Right. And I agree with you. And I think we learned this lesson from the show with friends. You should never allow a third party or just the fact that like your two friends not getting along for you not to get along with them separately. Cause a lot of us do get, people try to pull you apart. And so I like that you
Yes.
were very honest with them and you're like, I'm not going to choose sides, but I have compassion and I can see both sides. Why do you think people, I mean, men like John, what is it about him putting Shannon through all this that we're not seeing? Is there other things that we're
You
not
know
seeing?
what? There are two sides. And I will tell you when I was filming and I was hearing Shannon, I'm like, God, what is going on? But you know what? I do get together with John and Alexis, and he will tell you it's not like a coming for Shannon. It's not the timeline ran up. We needed to handle it. Unfortunately, you guys were filming. He's very matter of fact about it. I asked Alexis the other day, I said, why don't you just let John speak for himself? And maybe that would be helpful for people. The problem for them, and I said this to Alexis, I felt like maybe Alexis should have stepped out of it a little bit. This was John and Shannon's problem, and she just came in so hard and fast about it, Alexis, that maybe it would have been better for Alexis had she let it be between John and Shannon. We were filming, and this was all happening. So it was just so heightened for them the whole time.
I agree with you on that. I do think that sometimes when people break up, you have to let them handle it, no matter, even if you're the new girl or the new girlfriend, how much you're protective over your new man. It's still the respect of letting that old relationship heal and then moving
Yes.
forward. You don't have to put
Can,
somebody down or
can
tear them.
you imagine being Shannon? I mean,
No,
honestly, I say that
no.
to Ryan all the time. I love Alexis, but if I had to film next season and now it's Ryan and his new, I don't know if I could do it. That's what I'm saying. I just give Shannon so much credit for being able to even show up.
Well, I got to tell you, because I went through it recently, but it wasn't on national TV. Now, I've been on national TV, but again, this breakup I've been through with Shannon. And when I look at that, I do agree with you. I'm like, I would not want to be in her situation right now,
Yeah.
how hard that is, and how she's gracefully not letting the shame or the guilt get the best of her, because you can let that happen too. You know,
Oh,
how do you
yeah.
feel
And
about her? Yeah, sorry.
go ahead.
Her sobriety, like, and how she's been dealing with it. Like, how do you see her from a woman's point of view? Like you said, I can't imagine being her.
Who other than Shannon and whoever she's working through with her program has any right to judge her path? I look at Shannon, she looks freaking amazing. I
Yeah.
talked to Shannon, she is on top of it. The girl is busy, she's focused on the kids. Like, I don't understand, because this happened, does that mean she was never supposed to pick up a drink? And is that our job to tell Shannon when she can and when she can't have a drink? That's on Shannon. And I tell you, I see a Shannon that went as low as I feel like she felt like she could go and is only on her way up.
Yeah, I mean, you're amazing. I love that you're a supportive friend. What can we expect this season to see the rest from you and the cast? Talk to us a little bit more about that.
This season still blows my mind. I still sit here and think about like what all of us genuinely were like going through personally in all of our lives, and then try to make a season out of it. It is so, I say it every time, like all the time. The highs were so high. There were so many highs and there were so many lows. Like, I mean, real life, like what the heck is going on? And that there's still so much. I can't even tell you. I watched the trailer and I was like biting my nails, like, oh gosh. Um, yeah.
Anything, what about the reunion? Anything you could give us for the reunion coming up? I mean, from your end and something you want to clear up.
Reunion for me, I know everybody has their thoughts of like, are you prepared and are you this? For me, I like to show up, and I definitely got some people I'm ready to talk to, things I'm just done with. And yeah, and then the relationships that matter that I want to mend, I want to do that.
Is there someone this season that we should be closely looking at that you are at odds with, that you feel you haven't understood why yet, or what's happened, why you
Well, my
can't
whole
communicate?
my whole relationship with Tamara. I mean, but I have to tell you, I don't even need to understand anymore. Like I don't even want to put energy there. So
Right.
for me, it's more of a Emily and I probably owe each other a conversation. And other than that, let's do the reunion.
We can't wait for the reunion. We can't wait for the rest of the season. We just want to know, where are you at with your yoga instructing and company, and because I know you had a studio. Can
Yep.
we look forward to anything new with you in that
Oh,
regard?
the studio's there still teaching. I taught last night. We have a retreat coming up. I
Yes.
have an amazing group of people coming on the retreat. I literally cannot wait. It's our first retreat. We went to Bali last year. We're going to Tulum this year. So the studio's there. And you see a lot of like ups and downs with it in the season, but we're not going anywhere. And my partner is amazing. And so yeah, the studio's there and doing great and still teaching.
Amazing. We just have a question, and then we're going to go into promos from one of the
Yeah.
audience members who loves you. What does it take to be a successful housewife on the OC? And do you see yourself coming back next season? Whether you can
Oh
answer
God.
that or not.
Okay, I hope I'm coming back. Let me say that. I don't think any of us know. I hope so. And a successful housewife, I listen to what all of you say, and it sounds like what you and fans and viewers feel is successful is just somebody who's willing to show up and be authentic and real and share.
Love
Vulnerable.
that.
I think you guys love vulnerability too.
We
And
love that.
yeah, and so I'm just gonna do me as long as I work, and when I don't, I won't.
Well, you're amazing. Anything, any Chanel in the city, just quickly, any restaurant you recommend in the OC that we should come and visit and see, that it's one of your favorites?
I mean, I'm like I'm like a Baja fish fast food with the kids. Like, we love Javier's. They just redid the Javier's down in Crystal Cove. I mean, there's so many good restaurants. Unfortunately, I'm pretty quick with the kids all the time, but I wish I could think of something off the top of my head.
Well, Javier's it is. We got to get together when I come back to the OC. I have a best friend
Please,
that lives there. I love the OC, by the way. It's
please.
gorgeous. You guys are all beautiful people inside and out. The vibes are cool. Like, it's very relaxing. I just want to let you know, thank you for taking your time for this show.
Thank you for
I really
having me.
do genuinely love you. We are rooting for you. We can't wait to see you back and the reunion and the rest of the season. Can you plug in your social medias, where we can find you, your website, anything we can tune into you?
Oh my gosh, I would
And
love for you to
Bravo,
find me.
yeah, and the OC show, obviously, when we can watch it on Bravo.
Um, Jennifer.Pedranti is Instagram. And I mean, the studio, everything's on Instagram. And I would love that. I love connecting with people. Can I just say one last thing?
Yes,
I
please.
will tell you the one thing for me that if anybody can hear this, people say all the time, I don't know if you'll read this. I read everything that I can. And when women share their stories with me, I swear to you, I'm not making this up. I am so grateful for those moments because people have shared so many deep personal things with me. And I am grateful for every single message. So yes, find me. I love reading them and I appreciate them.
And I love that. Keep inspiring. You really are an inspiration. We need to learn as a woman, things aren't perfect. We make mistakes and
Yep.
we move on, and we still need to not give up on ourselves and have each other's backs. And I love it. We're rooting for the OC.
Hey, this is Jen Pedranti from the Real Housewives of Orange County, and you're listening to me with Chanel in the City with Chanel Omari.